I added to the portfolio today is called vEmpire.
And they are the largest decentralized metaverse investment organization in the world.
Hello, everybody, and what a lovely day it is. Let you kick off, and I'll do some button tapping in the background. You know what comes after UOB and Qcoin? When Binance. Hello, everybody. It's cooled down a bit in the UK, and if Carlton is watching, you'll be very upset to hear that I've actually sacked off the Coke Zero and the Diet Coke for life. I've decided no more. So today I've got a cup of tea. Look at that, nice and relaxed. New year, new me. Today we've got on the show Andy from HeartRate. Very interesting one. They have a sleep to earn part of their overall gaming. So I'm extremely excited to hear a bit more about that and other things. So we can bring Andy out. I think there we go.
How's it going, Dom?
All good.
Can you hear me okay?
The video is okay. Unfortunately, it looks a bit like it's from the 1980s, but we'll have to just accept how handsome you are just off your own statement.
Yeah, sorry.
Better now.
Is that better? Is it slightly better?
Yeah, that's better. Here we are.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, I've got awkward connection. Awkward connection today.
Don't worry about it. It seems to be all fixed up. Yeah, I was introducing you then. I was taking a look through like just the general briefing outline of what we're going to chat about, and I saw that. But I will let you, before we move on to that, just sort of introduce yourself and the protocol. I always like to ask people how they got into the industry as well.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, thanks, man. Well, yeah, my name's Andy. I'm a founder of HeartRate. I've been in this industry probably about a year and a half now in terms of working, but I've been familiar with the technology since 2017. I had an old friend of mine when I was working in a bar. An old friend of mine in Cyprus used to just daily, he used to just regularly tell me, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. And it was a daily thing, and then it drove me mad. So I didn't buy Bitcoin, and that was one of the biggest mistakes I made back in 2017. But kind of since then, I did more research. Then about a year and a half ago, I started working as a CMO for a metaverse project, and that was great. That was a really good experience. I learned a lot, and then I moved on to finding my own project, which is HeartRate, which has a strong, we have a good team behind us, a good team of developers, good team of marketers and operations. We are about to be listing our token on Huobi, and we're currently in talks with some other exchanges as well. And beta for the program should be available in the next few months, well, a couple of months.
And is that your IEO on Huobi, or you're already on other exchanges?
It's going to be our IEO on Huobi, the first initial offering. Yeah, it'll be our first one, and then we are like talking with other exchanges, but we'll see how things go.
Fair enough. And which decks will you be on?
We'll see. We just don't really know for sure what exchanges we're going to be using. We are talking with Gate and OKX. We're having talks with them. It really just depends how the next kind of few weeks pan out for us, because we've completed our initial phase of investment.
I was going to, as in buy decks, probably not the sort of like word that I was looking for. I was meaning.
Oh, sorry.
Are you on Ethereum or are you on?
What chain? Sorry, what chain?
Yeah. So basically, the question was Uniswap or PancakeSwap, but the real question I wanted to ask was which chain.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be building on Binance Smart Chain, but we have some friends at Spanning Labs who are creating interoperability. They're creating a bridging software. So we're going to be on multi-chain, hopefully. This is like, we're talking maybe a couple of years from now. We don't have any sort of short-term plans to be multi-chain. At the moment, we're just building on Binance Smart Chain just because it's so much cheaper. Just gas fees are much lower. We were considering Ethereum before, but gas fees are really expensive on Ethereum. So yeah. So we are, there's always a caveat. Yeah, always a caveat. So what about you? I don't know much about you, Dom. We haven't really formally met, have we?
No, just a very brief chat. But that's
Yeah.
half the people who come on here. I got so many group chats. That's the problem. And
I know,
I pretty
man.
much I meet people and then I immediately mute them.
Yeah. Same.
Well,
bad.
not them personally, just the
So
group chat.
antisocial with me. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, well, our background, and mine, I was always in traditional finance before blockchain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I started out as a stockbroker, commission only, sort of self-employed, running a desk, and 250 phone calls a day, and then started sort of trading with a company as a derivatives trader. I then worked for SJP, St James's Place Wealth Management in the UK.
Yeah, I know it. I know it.
And then after that, I worked in VC, in sort of asset-backed property investment VC. So like boring stuff, but like hotels, pubs, care homes, stuff that had a property that we could take charge of should anything bad happen to the trading, which is why I got into metaverse, because most tokens are just code rather than having any actual backing of a virtual asset, but an asset all the same. So that's sort of how I landed. But yeah, I think. Are you dealing with Fan or Amelia from Huobi by any chance?
I'm not sure who I'm dealing with.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I know Amelia quite well. That was the only reason why
Amelia.
I was asking. Well, then again,
I'm not sure what their names are. I've just leave that with the head, because I've got a team of guys, so kind of let them deal with a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, what I always find as well, it's very very commonplace in Asia, and especially in some of the exchanges I deal with, is that you have the real Asian name, and then you have the Western name. So sometimes if I say, do you know Amelia? And you'll be like, no, but I do know. I won't try and make one up on the spot because I don't want to stereotype.
Get
in trouble. But yeah, moving on to, can you explain the protocol, exactly what how it's going to be doing and bringing to the space?
So it's a fitness app that tracks your sleeping and walking. And essentially, it's a play to earn, move to earn type app. So it's, in fact, the idea itself isn't revolutionary. It's pretty common nowadays. In fact, it's quite a up and coming market for this whole X to earn, something to earn concept. There's a lot of play to earn and games to earn. So it's essentially in that same ballpark and the same mechanics. But we're essentially building a sort of walking and sleeping. We're using these two for now in the early stages to kind of help us formulate the model of health to earn. So essentially, it's about rewarding people for maintaining and committing to a healthy lifestyle. I mean, me personally, like I've, the last few years, especially like, with COVID and like a lot of the, sort of awakeness that people are experiencing when it comes to health, people are starting to be a bit more self-reflective. I know I have been these past few years, and I've just been kind of reflecting on my own personal health. So what that kind of has led to is kind of, okay, so I work in Web3, I work in blockchain technology. How can I use that to kind of give people that push to get into a healthier lifestyle? Because that's something I wish I had. You know what I mean? It's something I wish I had. I wish I had that extra sort of push. I know it should be just be healthy, and that is all you should be doing in your life. But I think having a sort of extra push to kind of do that is always a nice touch. And I think I wanted to kind of use blockchain technology to achieve that. So that's kind of the premise of what we're going for. We're using sleep as a sort of sleep to earn mechanic is because sleep contributes to mental health as well. Like having a good, healthy sleep schedule really helps your mental health and stability and balance. So we want to kind of use that as a sort of like encourage people to, and create a space of environment where physical and mental health is kind of something we need to like share and like talk about and keep it open. So we're kind of using the social fi aspect of Web3, the whole, because it's such a sociable space and where everyone's so open and innovative and there's open thinking. So we wanted to kind of address that using an app basically.
Yeah, the to earn model is something that's gotten a bit of heat recently.
Yeah.
But one of the things we've felt it ourselves, we had to close down one of our pools, the Axie pool, the Axie Infinity pool, because we just weren't getting a good enough secondary or third yield to distribute to users. But
Yeah.
I mean, play to earn as a concept, I still do very much believe in, or any sort of to earn, because I think people tend to discount the fact that people have always had the to earn mechanism. Actually, the user earning is new with Web3, but people don't necessarily realize all of the incentives that they're given to be unhealthy by advertisers and by companies that pay so much money to influence people throughout their day-to-day lives, like
Yeah.
even the branding of like McDonald's changing to green and everything like that, and all these subtle things, Happy Meals, etc. Somebody is chucking money at that to influence people to be unhealthy, to buy their
100%.
product, to eat their thing. And then if you reverse it and you're actually paying people to be the other way, for some reason everyone suddenly thinks, oh my God, that's a Ponzi, like that won't happen. But it's been happening already on the other foot, just because the user isn't getting the money. We're just getting money chucked at a wall to be unhealthy. We're not actually gaining anything apart from a belly. People don't really sort of compute that. And I think people misunderstand it. But yeah, it would be good to put people at ease just in regards to tokenomics and that while we got you here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's we need to have a sort of strict economic model that makes sure that we don't go through some sort of death spiral and end up flat on our face, because there needs to be some sort of balance between the market. And I think we need to, at the end of the day, any product that Web3 creates has to serve a purpose, and it needs to solve a problem. And a lot of people like myself who work on computers, I'm always facing my computer. Sometimes I go, 4 days where I'm just constantly doing stuff on the computer, and not finding the time to go for a walk, get some fresh air, and think about it. So I kind of get locked into this digital world. So I kind of want to trying to transform like the real world as well. There's still the reality that needs to kind of go on, and a lot of people are very focused on the metaverse at the moment and this digital world. It'd be nice to kind of like take a step back, take a deep breath. Let's make sure that our physical world is fine first before we start like trying to make a perfect digital world. And I think like health is one of those things, and just having good economics will kind of make that happen. So yeah, we have a decent economic structure at the moment. I think it's very solid. Naturally, we need to do some serious stress tests before we kind of make it so it is the perfect system.
Fair enough. I can actually refer you to a guy for our trading card game. We had it verified by a company called Machinations. So they are their literal job is game model theory, and they ran I think they did something like 300,000 simulated games with 3 million cards played to make sure that the two factions were balanced.
Yeah.
They apply that model through Monte Carlo simulations to any sort of to earn project or game or anything to check the economy works. So I send him so much business. As you can imagine, the amount that I come across, and it's such a niche and specific thing. I also always have a go at him about his fees as well. He knows that very, very well, that I'm constantly telling him.
Well, you gotta negotiate the fees, man. That's how the world goes around. It's not fees.
Well, if more people can start doing what they do, then hopefully I can be more convincing to get him down. But luckily, the fact that I preferred him so much puts me in good stead anyway. So. And also, he knows that anyone I refer, I'll be telling them that they need to haggle. So,
yeah.
Have you got any sort of burn mechanics? Are you going to be having? Is it a dual token model, or is it just singular?
We're going for a single token model. We called it HTR. Just kind of simple, rolls off the tongue quite easily. HTR token, just a single token model. I mean, a dual token isn't a bad idea. I think it does have some benefits, but I think it just creates it a bit overcomplicated. That's just from my sort of grounded, whatever perspective of like someone who's kind of trying to look at it from a normal person's perspective, not from someone who's very technically savvy. So from my perspective, just a single token model just seems more straightforward. Like, you know what's going on. It's a one token for the program, for the app, for the ecosystem, and you can use that token for pretty much everything in the system. So you don't have to keep moving your tokens around and paying like excess fees just because you keep moving your token around. We will have a trading mechanism, so you will be able to trade the token using the Binance Smart Chain, which obviously means you can convert it to USDT. Naturally, there's going to be fees on that. So there's going to be fees. That's a natural sort of element of the market. It's just trading fees. So there's going to be a sort of, we're trying to keep it as straightforward, simple as possible. I think the apps that are, may not be this app, but I think the apps that are really going to be adopted into the world, into society, are the apps that are seamless. And seamlessness requires simplicity. It needs to be able to kind of go, like, flow into the world naturally, and people barely even notice it. I mean, we didn't.
Steve Jobs, haven't you?
Steve Jobs? I don't know. Is that what he said? Is that Steve Jobs? Is that Steve Jobs' ideology?
Well, his theory, which he came up with on an acid trip. He was a keen LSD user in his early days. And his trip, apparently half the time when these people do acid, they have some sort of life-changing experience. Anyway, his was that machines should work sort of as seamlessly and organically as sort of humans, which is why whenever I've used like a Samsung or like a Huawei, I almost said Huawei then. Whenever like you press it, like seems like blockier and it vibrates, but the reason why everything is so flowy and flicky and swishy on a Mac is because it's supposed to be this like really human touch, and that's sort of what the Mac goes for. So that's what maybe it's only because I know that I sense it when I use Apple rather than Windows. But yeah, that was his thing basically.
Nice.
So I thought you'd been watching.
Well, I was thinking my analogy. I mean, my analogy is more like TVs. You know how TVs kind of just like, there was a time where there were no TVs in anyone's houses, and now there's TVs in everybody's house. Like how, and we didn't know. Nobody can. I don't think anyone. I mean, maybe somebody can, but like I don't think. Generally speaking, can people actually put a date of the day that a TV arrived in all houses? It just happened so naturally and progressively that we didn't even clock on and say, okay, today's the day that everybody has a TV in their house, or today's the day everybody's got a phone in their pocket.
On a similar note to that, I've always seen, and I watched these things. I saw it shared on LinkedIn, and it was two things. It was like a talk show, like a comedy panel, ages ago, and it was talking about the internet, and it was like the jokes they were making about it seemed like so ignorant, and people who were like the people who were effectively taking the mick out of it just looked so dumb now. And then there was another one where they were talking to Bill Gates about email, comparing it to why wouldn't I just write a letter, and it's like it's crazy how biased and ignorant people can be in the face of a new technology, compared to how quickly it becomes so commonplace that it would seem crazy to ever argue against the idea. And that's the argument with crypto.
I mean, we're fighting an uphill battle. Anyone who wants to kind of build in the space and grow in the space and, achieve something in the space, because let's say we have this mindset that we understand that this form of technology will be a big part of our future. Just because we have that notion in our minds, where, especially 5 years ago, if you had this notion in your mind, you'd be considered crazy, or he's one of those crazy guys who's like Bitcoin lovers and all that. He's disconnected from reality. But as the years are progressing now, it's becoming more and more of a norm, and people are starting to embrace it and slowly understand the technology, and people are definitely understanding why it needs to exist, And people always say, isn't it a scam? Isn't it a scam? I mean, Jesus, the UK economy is a scam. If you look down at it, the banking system is a scam. McDonald's is a
Honestly,
scam. You know, it's all a scam. Your
I was
dentist is a scam.
I was talking to my team about the monetary system and the banking system. And,
Yeah.
I can't remember how it came up, but one of them mentioned fractional reserve banking, which is
Yeah.
the current
They don't need to
banking
have.
system.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I literally explained how it works, and they're like, "So it's all a Ponzi?" It's like, yes, it's all a Ponzi. It's just a much more opaque Ponzi than some of these cryptos, because at least with them you can see everything. With the banks, you don't even know it's a Ponzi; it just is.
You know, there's no sort of disclaimer. I mean, maybe there is, but like, there's no sort of. I mean, with crypto, there's a big disclaimer written like on the face of it is, you may lose all your money, right? That is written on every platform, everywhere, on any sort of crypto, even on any tweets on there. There is the common knowledge. It is sort of the first rule of crypto. You might lose all your money, right? But they don't put that in normal banking systems. There's not a sort of say, oh, you put your money in our account. Oh, there is a risk that we're gonna freeze withdrawals. There's a risk that you won't, you know, you're gonna be put into a dangerous mortgage loan. There's a situation where when your variable rates kick in, you're going to, you know, have to your mortgage payments are going to go up, and it's like people are not being completely told from the get-go of the risks of the current systems. So at least with crypto, there's something.
They actually took away recently. I saw an article on it. Previously, when you applied for a mortgage, you had to go through an affordability survey, and they had to check that you could afford the mortgage if the interest rate went up to a certain amount. So you didn't just have to be able to afford the like 2% 2-year fixed. They also had to check, can you afford the variable rate? And if you couldn't, they wouldn't give you the mortgage. They scrapped that. Why? Because interest rates are going up and they wouldn't be able to sell as many mortgages. But when do you need an affordability survey? When people are likely to actually have the high interest rates or in a low interest rate environment. And it's like, what possible excuse could you have for doing that apart from wanting people to take risks, knowing that you'll be able to repossess their property? Like, there is no argument otherwise as to why they would do it, apart from to sell more mortgages, give people more debt, and when they can't pay it, you take the property, more wealth for the banks. But we can get into a very, very long talk about the banking system, so let me get back onto it. Like how Stepan have the shoes, what sort of NFTs are you guys planning to have?
A bit like a sports band, a sort of NFT sports band. That's the image we're going to be using, sports bands, because it's kind of because you can get sort of the idea is that we're planning to create real sports bands for HeartRate branded sports bands, which would sync efficiently with the app. We'll see how that goes. That's not 100% guaranteed. We don't know if we're going to have a real live band because we need to, you know, because of security reasons, privacy reasons, we need to make sure that it's done perfectly. So unless it's a perfect system, we won't do it. If we can perfect it and it works, then we'll develop it. But this can come in a year from now. You know, we're in no rush to kind of like an instant fix. You know what I mean? We're not trying to do things quickly. We're doing this for the long haul. We're looking at longevity, which is why we've got investors coming in, because they understand that we're not looking for a quick buck. We're building this over many, many years. It's going to be a process. So the idea is, yeah, we are going to have NFT bands straight away, but you don't necessarily have to own one in order to use the services. We don't want people to be like tied in. Okay, you have to have an NFT band in order to try out the services or use the services. But there will be a sort of staking mechanism. So you do need to stake our token in order to receive the benefits. So you need to be holding it in the liquidity. So yeah, there would be some element of but the NFT itself will be like in the form of a band, like a sports band.
Fair enough. I think when you said that, so it's going to sync. I thought you were about to say, so it's going to sync Fitbit.
Sync Fitbit.
Put them out.
Yeah,
I was like,
I think
like it.
Garmin is the new Fitbit, I would say. Garmin watches are incredible. Yeah, amazing. A bit more expensive, but yeah, I think they're the new Fitbit. They've already sunk Fitbit. But yeah.
And is
That's the
there
plan.
any? Obviously, you've already mentioned that it's on both exercise and sleep. So how does the revenue? Well, firstly, the revenue model for the business, but separately, any limits? Because obviously, you can't
Yeah.
just get people to sleep 24 hours a day.
Yeah, if only that was that easy. If only it's that easy. Yeah, there's going to be. So, firstly, in terms of the business model for the business, we make money on minting the NFTs. When we sell the NFTs, we make money, and also when we mint, and also fees as well. There will be fees at different elements. For example, trading fees and things like that. So that's our business model. Naturally, we need to make a product that is worth selling, right? We need NFTs is going to be one of our main sources of income. And that will be, we need to make those NFTs as usable as possible with high utility. We've got to make the app a good quality product, and that's where we're going with that. That's how we're going to make the money. So minting the NFTs and the fees as well. So that's our main source of income. That's how we make our money. What else is there? So in terms of like the sleeping and the walking and the steps, so yeah, we're going to limit the steps. At the moment, we've put a superficial sort of initial limitation of 3,000 steps a day and 8 hours of sleep. That's what we're going with now. So that's the idea, is that you have to walk 3,000 steps a day. When you complete that task and the 8 hours of sleep, then you get rewarded for doing that. Then you get
You got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers,
I
especially
love
the especially the 3,000 steps.
it.
Actually, no, for me that's not. But yeah, for most people who, yeah, exactly. See, it's
Yeah.
from my old stockbroker.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
look, yeah, I mean, exactly that. But we need to balance it out. I mean, it's only 3,000 now, is sort of tentatively. We'll see how things go. If that's not enough, we'll pump it up. We'll bring it down. Whatever the, I mean, a normal healthy walking is around 10,000 steps a day, 10 to 15,000 steps a day. That's a good balance. But 8 hours of sleep is kind of a fair amount. My grandma tells me like get 8 hours of sleep a night. Like that's where we're basing that information from. Just grandma's wisdom, like, yeah, that's more.
Always the best. Who needs doctors?
Yeah.
But how do you make sure that people are not telling porkies about their sleep in particular?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, it's the same way that StepN stops people from putting their phone on their dogs and sending their dogs out to run. Right, it's a similar technology, and it's the same with any sort of sleeping app, because sleeping tracking technology or sleep monitoring technology has been around for years. I've got one on my phone called Sleep as Android. Really good technology. It monitors your sleeping, tells you what stage of sleep you're in, and it will also do a smart alarm, so it will wake you up naturally. So it will have like a 30-minute window in which it wakes you up in. So essentially, we're going to be using a similar technology. It's just sleep monitoring technology, which is going to check to see if it's a real human being, if it is a real sleep, and it's not just the phone sitting idle. Same with the walking app as well. There is technology that can decide whether it is a human being or a dog or a cat or a squirrel. I don't know.
So you're telling me that what if I was sleeping and then I just let rip like at midnight a massive fart and I get penalised for it because it
You
picks
get
it up
bonus. You get bonus coins for that. You get bonus.
Flatulence extra.
Yeah, like good man, good. You got healthy, healthy shit. That's good, man. Yeah, I mean, look, in terms, yeah, I mean, look, the thing is, the technology already exists, right? Sleep monitoring technology and step technology already exists. So we're not reinventing the wheel here. We are going to take the technology that we know works, and it's going to be, and we're going to utilize it. That's all, and just kind of try and blend it in a sort of manner that is that works, like I say, seamlessly. Seamlessly is the goal here. We want people to be able to just press a button and then put their phone next to their bed as they would do. It would use their microphone and the gyroscope, the movement on the phone, to sense and just gather data and transform that into a sleep monitoring system. And then we will use that information to reward our customers. We have to validate it and then reward.
Fair enough. If you had to summarize, because I'm conscious that got to head off in like 5
Yeah,
minutes.
I'm flying off to Copenhagen now. I'm actually at Gatwick Airport, so
Oh, really? Fair enough.
yeah,
How
I'm
have
at
you
the
managed
airport.
to
So
find somewhere?
somewhere quiet. Yeah, I kind of snuck somewhere quiet here, which is great. So I've got a nice
Fair
little empty
enough.
hallway. Yeah.
Very good. You, I think I actually know where that is. Did you go round the corner after like prep?
Yeah, the lounge, all the lounges are closed here. So my plan was to be in the business lounge to do this call, but they've closed all the lounges. These two are closed, and the one that is open is not allowing anybody else to come in there now. They're fully booked out. So mad busy in Gatwick Airport.
Fair enough. Thanks for taking the time to be with us. But yeah, how would you compare yourselves, sort of key differentiators from
Yeah,
the main models everyone's familiar with, Stepan and
like
then the
step and
Axie?
step. Yeah, yes, actually, I mean, essentially, our single token mechanism is quite unique for the space. Well, I mean, I say unique. It's Stepan don't use it. So if I compare to Stepan use a two token system. So we're different in the sense that we are going for the single token system. Another aspect is that we're kind of promoting Health-2-Earn as a whole. Stepan naturally is a health aspect because it's fitness to earn, but or walking to earn, jogging to earn, and all that. So. But we're kind of going, because we're adding a sort of sleep mechanism to it, we're doing health as a whole as to earn as well. So that comes with many sort of possibilities as to where this whole program and network can go. This ecosystem can be adopted into so many different areas that maybe and can't be adopted in.
Fair enough.
So it's going to be, sorry about that.
No, that's all right. You almost cut out, but you didn't in the end. We had one question I sort of...
I didn't, I saved it, yeah.
I asked along the way, one of them, which was about the revenue model, but the only other one that we did have in the comments section was that you didn't consider Solana, ?
Oh, I mean, look, never say never. We're only going with BSC just because we have experience deploying on BSC. So we kind of know how it works and how to kind of navigate it. And we've got people inside, so to give us advice, and we've got we've got experience. Our developers have experience. So I mean, Solana is still definitely on the books. When we're not kind of blocking our doors. Like I say, we're working with Spanning Labs to give us the interoperability so that we can be multi-chain. We're just going with BSC because it's the most. I would argue. I mean, I might be wrong because I'm not an expert in any case, any avenue of it, but it's just that BSC is the more approachable one right now because it's got really low fees. And a lot of people, it's popular. I mean, maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot here by saying that BSC is popular. It might be.
You're right. I think obviously ETH is most widely used, but it has the fee element, especially with smaller transactions like you have with these earns. It's just not. There's a reason why Axie had to create Ronin. There was that or use a competitor. Solana is cheap, but it's a completely different coding language. So whereas BSC and Ethereum and any EVM uses Solidity as a coding language, Solana uses Rust, which literally it's like going from English to Arabic. There's no
I mean, we could always. There's nothing wrong. I mean, it really just depends on how things progress over the next few weeks. And it just depends on which platform. I mean, we just think BSC is a good one for now, but Solana is definitely on the books. So we have, it's not never say never.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to BSC, but yeah, you made the mistake of saying you've got insiders. So now everyone's going to say when Binance.
Yeah, when's Binance? That's what I keep saying. I'd love it, man. Do you know how hard it is to get on Binance?
I do. Trust me, I do. We're coming up to 1 year. Now, you got to go through everyone else first.
You do.
You got to tick it up. You got to go, you got to go tier 3, tier 2, tier 1. Actually, no, not even that. You got to go tier 3, tier 2, lower tier 1. Then you go to the top 3, which is Binance, FTX. And Coinbase.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, look, I don't see Binance in the near future. No way. I don't see that in the near future. because it's just really difficult to get in there. And there's so many requirements and so many standards that we need to meet. So until we meet those standards, I don't see that happening. But right now, we're not too concerned. Right now, our focus is on finishing up the website. That should be in the next couple of weeks, where we're going to have a real professional-looking website. On top of that, being listed on Hobie, we're coming out of our last stages of investments. We've just received a last-minute investment now, just because somebody was really interested in joining us and jumping in and being involved with the project. Yeah,
it's not us, is it?
Yeah. So yeah, it's all really good. So everything's kind of moving along smoothly. So really, it's just about being patient.
Good stuff. All right, well, we'll let you go. You got a plane to catch, literally.
I do.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on, and I'll try to jump back into the chat later and take you off mute.
All right, well, perfect. Thank you so much.
Nice one. See you later. Thanks for watching, everybody.